Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in today. I have a really special one today, and I'm really going to enjoy doing this. This is, gosh, it's gone so quick, is the final video to the light-sided series of my channel that I've been doing. And we are looking at a bit of a deep dive to the Libra, the Librans. Hello, my Libra friends. The golden scales, the scales of justice, the scales of balance. I just think straight away when I think of Libra, like beautiful doves flying through the night sky. And I was very pleased and very proud of the artwork that I did in my tarot card deck with the Justice card, because I had this dream of these white doves flying in the night, and it's kind of really an interesting thing where it's like white versus black, and we kind of associate good versus evil, polarity, and these doves flying up into the night sky, reaching for a higher place to go with these chains that are kind of clanging and banging and swinging up in the air, wrapped up in their little claws. And I think of Venus, I think of bunny rabbits, I think of crystals and cups of tea and a very beautiful aesthetic. And this is such a aesthetic-based sign. They're such visual creatures, the Libra. And their ruling planet is Venus. It's shared with the Taurus energy there. So it is very much the most grounded earth energy that's kind of merging with air energy in Libra. And I'll get on to my thoughts on that a little bit later. So I've just got a cup of tea, and it's just kind of starting to activate. The tea that I am drinking today is called Buddha Tears, which is a very popular one from the shop T2. That's the title of the store here in Australia, T2. You can probably look it up or find them on Instagram or something on social media. But it's a very calming tea, and it's said to improve memory and helping with relaxation, sleeping, and yeah, who doesn't need that? I need some more of that in my life. Yes, please. So I hope that all of you are well, and if you haven't already and you're new to my channel, please go ahead and smash the subscribe button and leave me a comment below and let me know what you think. Are you enjoying this series? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I love to hear about all of the different opinions and angles and viewpoints of what everyone else thinks too. I'm always looking to be challenged, and even just saying that there, it's like I'm already tapping into Libra a little bit, is that I like when someone disagrees with me. I like it when someone has a different point of view, because that helps me grow. And just tapping into that Libra energy as the tea starts to flow through my veins, coming into a deeper look at Libra. It is about understanding. And are you ready? That polarity is a law, and we can have two different viewpoints, two different things that are polar opposites to each other, both be right at the same time. And Libra is the merging or the conjunction of polarity, of the balancing and the measuring and the weighing of things, but understanding that both sides can be true. Both sides can be real. They are very real for both people. And only through softening our approach and taking the time to really melt into something a little bit like butter in a hot pan or Play-Doh, we've got to be flexible. You've got to be fluid to understanding that the ideas that you may have had will and are changing. Things bend and morph. Everything's in a state of change. Rules and laws that existed years ago have to be updated. Things are always in a state of updating and going into a different form, and curriculum needs to be updated, everything. So but basically what I'm saying is, the more that you hold on to something and be like, this is the only way it can be, the more brittle that is, and the more that's going to eventually get completely snapped. And Libra has, just in their being, they have this way of being, which I really enjoy. And they have a way where they're able to try and meet in the middle and accommodate expansion without restricting someone else at one time. So it's the middle, that's what Libra is to me. And so things down here in Australia, we're in the southern hemisphere, and the days are longer, and at the moment I'm just really kind of enjoying my freedom and getting out of the house after being in lockdown for so long. And things are kind of lifted, and just enjoying good company, good food. And I have a lot of Libra friends. I don't have a lot of Libra in my chart, but I really do enjoy spending time with them. And a light-sided Libra, by the way. If you want to, learn more about the darker side of Libra, please go and have a look for my video. Just go into video playlists and just scroll down, and you'll see it there. So, but we are looking primarily at the light side here of the beautiful, wonderful things that make a Libra just so wonderful. And I'm very, very compatible with a Libra. I really am. They are not afraid to go deep. I will have to divide this video again, just like I did with the Aquarius. With Aquarius and with Libra, there are usually two types of them. So there's a type A, which is like superficial, shallow, really stupid, lazy, quintessentially like someone who vibrates at a very low frequency of self-awareness, and they don't want to go deep. They never push themselves. They want the cheat sheet to life. A dark-sided Libra A would be probably an obese girl that still lives at home with her parents, has no money, has no sense of self, probably has codependent relationship with their family or the parental figure, and just refuses to take any type of responsibility for their own behavior. And then the Aquarius or the Libra B would be someone that is like a diplomat, someone that aspires to go into roles of mediation and is really embracing people and embracing not so much really big crowds of, I don't think Libras or Aquarians for that matter really enjoy huge crowds of people. They can tolerate it, but they'd be more interested in group settings or one-on-one. But this is a very social sign. So an antisocial Libra would be dark-sided, I would believe. Also with Libra, I've noticed, as with the Geminis, a lot of Libras have a lot of extreme mental health problems that may be diagnosed or undiagnosed. So I come around a lot of borderline personality disorder. I have observed a lot of bipolar. Being bipolar would be definitely a darker Libra thing. And what's that one with the moods? I think it is bipolar. It's just up and down all the time. Yeah. I think sometimes I might be, but then I go, no, I'm not. I don't think so. It's such a tricky one, but I'm not going to go down the route of that. But I think I'm trying to explain that there are two types of Libras, and one of them is completely useless, and the other is really committed to self-improvement and expansion. And I think it goes without saying, and I was thinking about this the other day and saying it to my friend, the only real question to ask someone, there's only really two questions that I would ask someone now if I met them as I've gotten older, and, seeing if this person's compatible with me on any real level of depth means that, how committed to truth are you? So how committed to telling the truth are you? There's the first real question. Getting really aggressively real, let's getting into the nitty of the gritty of it all. And the second question would be, how much are you willing to suffer? Because one of the things that I've learned is that without resistance, without suffering, without trauma, there is no expansion. So without these two questions are really going to sum up who you are to me very quickly. And if I get resistance or any type of confusion about that, that is a red flag. And I can't. I don't want to engage with that. So I've kind of, gotten to that stage a little bit. And Libra is truthful. Like, I do find Libra is, for the most part, truthful. Gemini is like a different kettle of fish. But out of the three air signs, Libra for me would be the sign that would be down just above the water, but just above water, just above the line of water. They're not down in the earth. And the water would be a nice, peaceful, rocking energy that, it's calm, it's centered, it's grounded, it's soft and accommodating. That's the energy that I get from a Libra. When you go a little bit higher up, you go into the clouds, and that's more Gemini. Their heads up in the clouds, in the wind. And then I'd go higher above that, and then we're going out into space, and we've transcended humanism, we've transcended the physical earth realm, and we've gone off into the cosmos, which would be like gas and dark matter and stars and, that type of thing, which would be where Aquarius would sit there. So Libra is the most grounded of the air signs for me when I come around them. And I feel like Libra's, the aesthetic that I have in my house and my aesthetic in my style is very Venus anyway, because I'm so into that planet and I have a lot of Venus in my chart. So I am all about animals and nature and the earth and the rhythms and the cycles. And I try not to be like really brittle, like, really like too much structure leads to getting bored. And that's the Sag part of me. But anyway. So Libra, let's just have a bit of a dive into like the physical elements of it. So when I think of Libra, I don't think of the traditional sense where I think people get really caught up in the idea that Libra would be, the scales, the woman with the scales who has a blindfold on, and you'd see like the scale symbol of balance, the Lady of Justice holding the scales. And I don't associate Libra so much with law, although a lot of them end up in law. A lot of Libras end up in HR, and that's fine. But I don't really see Venus as a planet of law. I see Sagittarius and Capricorn as planets of law. Like Sagittarius would be laying down, this is the truth, this is the law of the land, and Capricorn would be the one that punishes you. Capricorn is about punishment and enforcing law on you and obeying it. It's subservitude, if that makes any sense. I hope that these conversations aren't too abstract, but I just have faith that someone, I don't know. By the way, I'm just going to jump off the course of this. The other day, there was a girl wrote a comment in my Dark Side of Pisces video that really troubled me. And I was looking at, just off the subject of Libra for a second, and I was looking at the comment, and it was talking about how Pisces has no boundaries. Like the dark side of a Piscean is that they're completely boundless, and they are very subject to getting into relationships where they choose to be abused. They choose to put themselves in situations that are dangerous to themselves and to others. And part of the truth of it is that you have to be willing to take responsibility for your choice. And one of the things that scares me is that it worries me. Well, it doesn't worry me, but it upsets me to think that I really hope that you guys are able to grasp the concept and the context of what I am saying in these videos, because I can't control how other people interpret me. I can't control how other people listen to me, because you can only understand me as deeply as you understand yourself. So I'm completely non-complicit to the nuances of how other people interpret the information that I'm giving you. And this girl kind of, took it to a point where I was saying that, being a victim isn't a choice. And the answer to that is yes and no. Being a victim is a choice in some cases, in some contexts. Say, for example, you have a dog that bites your hand, and then you choose to put yourself around that dog again. You know, you choose to put yourself in a dangerous situation where you know that the dog has attacked you before, and now you're putting yourself in that situation again. So that would be a choice. That was the context that I was talking about. Obviously, if it's like children and animals, well, then that's completely helpless. That's a completely different kettle of fish. And that is not where I was going with it. But anyway, you get my point. You have to understand enough to take the videos that I'm putting out here in the context of what I am trying to refrain it in. But yeah, it was sad to see that. And I did jump in and, had to explain. But it annoys me and it saddens me that I have to even explain something like that to someone, because it's like they jump to the conclusion that they want to go. But I guess at the end of the day, people really, really only want to see what they want to see. And the truth about psychology or spirituality is that we have to be willing to go where we don't want to see, where we don't want to go, because that's where we haven't looked yet. And that is where the answers really are. And that's how we grow. So, side note back to the light side of Libra. Libra would be, I don't see them as justice. I don't see this as a sign that enforces justice. It is a sign of measurement and understanding the relationship between polarity and light and shade. And yes, there is an exchange of energy that occurs when we go to a job. We are selling our time, our energy, our mind, our body, our strength. When you dig a hole, you are selling the strength of your arms to dig a hole. We are exchanging that energy that we give and our time, but we could be doing something else with, for monetary gain, for money. So we're all kind of selling something of ourselves to contribute to society. And that's what I see Libra as. Libra is not about justice as the sense it is, but it's more about, when I look at Libra and I look at the scales, Libra is not the scales of justice. It is the scales of a marketplace. It is walking into a beautiful marketplace where you are carrying these scales in your hands, and they are the evaluator and the measurer, the object that we use to measure things, to weigh up value. And I find that so interesting. And when I look at the scales in itself, we see obviously a tool or an item that is really quite foreign to all of the other signs. This is the only sign that has an object that represents what it is. We see Sagittarius has a bow and arrow, which is a centaur with an arrow and a bow. And we see Capricorn, goat, Aries, ram, Taurus, bull, Cancer, crab. So we see all of these animals, but with Libra, we see something beyond that. We've transcended into a physical object which is capable of understanding that life is a melting pot and it is a balancing act. Mother Nature, Venus, planet Earth, the sister planet to Venus. Well, Venus is said to be the sister planet to planet Earth. Planet Earth, she is female. Is that it's a reset. It's always creating balance. It's trying to create, not too much, not too little. If you put too much spice in the dish, then you've got to take that out. Then you've got to add this to complement that. And that's what nature is doing. It's constantly in this state of adjusting itself, and we need all of the parts of the world that we're in for it to all exist. We need the deep sea creatures. We need the sharks. Sharks create balance in the ocean. And yes, there is violence in nature. There is darkness in things, light and shade. We have to have the shadow and the light. It all is one. It's two sides to the same coin. That is what Libra is in essence. So Libras are a business sign for me. When I look at them, they understand that there is an exchange of energy that is happening where we are giving something to get something, or we're giving our time, which is the thing that I value the most in my life. So it is the weighing up of energy, and that is how I look at it. They have a very strong relationship with time management. So, and that's one thing I've really learned a lot about them, is that this sign, well, the dark side of a Libra is a procrastinator and is the biggest excuse maker ever. They're just full of shit. They've got an excuse for everything. It's always someone else's fault. It's never their fault. A light-sided Libra understands that you have to be very quick and smart, and you have to jump. You have to make the jump into life. You can't sit back on the edge waiting and evaluating. And that's why Libra takes a lot of a bad rap in the zodiac, because they are the fence sitter, the quintessential fence sitter. But the problem about life is that life is moving forward. It's always in a state of constant motion in time, space, linear space, time, that if you don't make a decision, there will be a consequence for not making a decision. So eventually things like so I'll explain it in a really basic, straight way with you. So there is action, and then there is inaction. So action is the doing of it, and inaction is the contemplation of doing it, but not in action yet. Both of which are a choice. So not choosing to move on the chessboard will eventually mean that you're going to get checkmated. Someone else is going to make a counter move with you, because the world is adjusting, or it's all moving around you. So you have to be somewhat adaptable. So choosing to not make a decision ultimately will have a time limit where it runs out. And we're getting older. I'm 36 now. If you're listening to this video and you're a Libra, you know exactly what I'm talking about right now. Okay. So inaction will have a consequence. Choosing to never take action will also have a consequence, or action. So the best advice I would give a Libra is sometimes it's best to just start moving rather than just sitting down and staying still. I know that you guys want the best decision. I know that you want the best option. It's not that you're sometimes scared. Well, you can be, which is the dark side of Libra, which is I don't want to make a choice unless it's the right choice. But sometimes we just need to fucking move. Sometimes we just need to get our ass moving, so that we're, moving in any direction is better than no direction. And that's where where Libra can gets caught up, and that's where they become like the Switzerland. Libra is known as the Switzerland. It will be friendly with everyone, but doesn't really have a defining point in itself where we can actually see who it is. And that's a problem for other signs that demand loyalty, when Libra wants to be loyal to everyone else. So yes, they have a great relationship with time and time management. So they understand how many hours are in a day. And that's one thing that I've really learned a lot about from my Libra friends, is that they have to be paid well for the services that they provide. This sign aspires to be paid well, which is only fair. I believe so. But also, how much energy versus time expenditure, how much do I have to put out? So how much do I have to give? And so there has to be something that's in the favor of Libra to do that, if that makes sense. And I'm learning a lot about that too. Also with Libra, I'm learning less sometimes is more. And I'm, that Sagittarian, that Sagittarian part of me, which is like, I'm a total maximalist, if that's even a word. Like I like maximum things, expansion in all ways. But sometimes, just a simple thing is sometimes better. Now, I also think of like Anubis, the Egyptian god, the one with the feather and the heart on a scale. I often think of, the measurement of the exchange there. So Libra, the light side of Libra is the exchange of understanding that we need logic and the understanding that we need heart. And to live just in heart is stupid, and to live all in the head is also stupid. So this is the conjunction that I was talking about before, where we need to keep both, and we need to delegate and kind of move in between both at one time. So just living in your heart means that you're emotionally, at the completely, you go to war and die, for someone who's living in their heart. And then there's living in your head, which is just all logical, and now there's no love, now there's no heart. So everything comes from this kind of strict, regimented way of thinking, which is completely inflexible and doesn't create, because the heart is the creator. It's the heart in itself is not logical. Creativity is not logical. That's why a lot of those, left brain, right brain people, so I'm a little bit of, we're all bits of both, but for me, I'm more of the artists. Like maths and science was interesting, but it just wasn't my forte. English and communication and the arts was my thing. And, I picked that and went with that. So yeah. Now, Libra, some people see Libra as a feminine sign. I don't. I tend to find them both. I tend to find Libra is a masculine sign. It does have a lot of strength to it. It's an intellectual strength. I don't come across a lot of Libras that are like bulked up at the gym and are really, really big. Their strength comes from their mind. The strength of a Libra comes from their wit. This is a very witty sign. And this sign wants to dance with you. This sign wants to have a relationship with you in the head. Okay, so for a Libra to feel loved, and they are very generous. I really enjoy being around Libras. A light-sided Libra is very kind and very generous. Okay, so I will say from my experience and my dealing with them that they really want to make sure that you're comfortable, that you're okay, that you feel supported. And that can be the dark side of Libra, is that it's all about the other person, and Libra kind of forgets who they are. This is the ultimate yes sign. So they're always saying yes to everyone. Yes, 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 but really kind of in their heart, they should be saying no, no, no. That's the dark side of Libra. So yet again, it's the balancing. Libra gives themselves out too much to people, and then they feel completely depleted and drained. And anyway. So I'll share a little story with you personally. I don't know how long this chat's going to go for. These chats kind of just go for how long they go for. But I want to really, encapsulate the energy that I feel when I think about this sign and my relationship to it as well. Is that when I think so me growing up, I'll give you a little story. I used to love the ocean. I still do. I loved to go to the beach, and I didn't live near the beach. I went hiking a lot. In Australia, we call it bushwalking. We call it going for a walk in the bush. We call the bush is the forest. And, a lot of that stuff is all about resetting yourself. And I can't talk about Libra without talking about the bio reset, what I call it the bio reset. And if you don't have to be a witch to understand this, but I just so happen to be, very witchy and very occult based, that there is such a connection between us and the land. There really is this relationship that is coexisting with us and the earth, and the rhythms of the earth, the rhythms of the sea. And I was the kid that used to go out really far in the water, really far. Like, if my mum and dad caught me, I would be absolutely murdered for this. But I just liked it, and you probably did too. I know you did. And to the point where I'd go that far out, and depending on how strong the surf was, you kind of get whacked, you get hit with like gallons of, tons of water in your face. And you kind of, after taking a few, mouths of water, you can't breathe. And this is the point where some people start to fight the ocean. They start to fight the ocean, and this is where people drown, okay? They're out too far to stand up. They're out in the depths. And what I would do, I would dive under the water, like put my head under the water and just swim very calmly, slowly and deeply into the rhythms, into the current. You can feel the tidal pull and the force of the ocean. And the best way to describe it, I guess, would be, say you go to like a dance party or a nightclub or something, and you've got this pulse of music around you that is very strong, and the music comes into your body, and you kind of get out of your own head and you start to engage with this force outside of yourself. And the force starts to connect with you and your body, and you start moving your body in the rhythm of the music, which we call dancing. And it's a form of expression, but it's coming from a higher, more powerful force. And in this case, it's the ocean when I'm under the water, and there is a moment of surrender. There is a moment of realizing I am not going to beat the ocean, but I am a part of it. Whatever it is, I am that. And so that's part of my realization about coming to terms with the fact that I am a witch. This is a part of who I am. So fighting it is absolutely pointless. And, coming back, and I knew that I'd get back to the shore. Like I had enough common sense to know that if I take my time and I swim back gently and calmly and I stop fighting this, that I will make it back to land. And so I did. And when I came back into shore, I had, and I still do it to this day, the most calm energy, very centered, very much like all of this crap that we all get caught up in life, all of the outside world, completely wiped, gone. And I'm in this state of bliss. I'm in this state of like heavenly energy, because the water has completely bio-reset the hell out of me. And I'm very chill. I'm not aggressive. I'm not angry. I let it go. And this is the state that I love to be in. This is the state that I am looking for all the time. If I could live in this state, I would. And, surfers, surfers know what I'm talking about. They know that this is, surfers are very chill. They're very relaxed. You don't come across a lot of aggro surfers, That's what I'm talking about. So that there is my personal, bit of story about me. That's how I knew that there was a force out there that was greater than me that I was a part of. And Libra knows this. Libra understands. If you're listening to this and you're a Libra, you're probably going, yes, and nodding your head and going, yes, I understand. It doesn't matter whether you're out on top of a mountain top. It doesn't matter if you're in the ocean diving down. A lot of Libras, by the way, love the ocean, and they would be deep diving with marlin fins, those big fins that you wear when you're a deep sea diver. They love that. And like a dolphin, they have a playful energy to them. So back on the subject of Libra, they are a very playful sign, and they don't want to get bogged up and caught up in the nitty gritty of things, much like a Scorpio can. Libra is more level-headed. So they kind of, they swim in the shallows, but they can go into the depths. They are equipped to deal with the heavy duty stuff of life. Aquarian B. Sorry, did I say Aquarian? Aquarian and Libra share that in common. Libra is equipped to go into the heavy shit. Yeah, they can talk about the real shit. And at some point, I said this to a friend the other day, and if you're listening to this, maybe you need to hear this too. Sometimes this is medicine for people. Is that what is a friend to you? What is a friend? Someone that you know. At some point, we have to be willing to go deep. At some point, we have to be willing to get fucking real and tell the truth. Yeah? And so the other person understands who you are and understands what you're about, so that you can have a connection that is of substance. Yeah? I hope that made sense. But yeah, we have to have that. And we can't live in the depths of hell either and be emo and goth as fuck. We can't live in this superficial, shallow world where we just pretend everything's fine and it's really not. So there is a balance between the nuances of that polarity, and this is where Libra is. It's the compromisation in a relationship that you have needs, I have needs, and how do we meet in the middle and find a place where we can both get our needs met without one overriding the other, because that would be out of balance. The duplicity, I hope that made sense. Anyway, so yes, Libras are duplicitous in nature. They just are, okay? So now Libras have style that is off the chart. Their style and their sense of aesthetic is very much me. I have a lot of that Libra energy there with if it doesn't look good, if it's not visually turning me on, I'm probably not really attracted to it. That's just how I am as an artist. I'm very visual like that. It's just how I am. So I have an aesthetic that I gravitate towards, which is kind of who we are. And we all have aesthetics that really match who we are. So, life would be a series like Gemini would try on a lot of different things. And the one that feels the most comfortable to you, the most at home, that you feel the most ease in, is generally the style that you would be. So for me, it's more like a witchy, Baroque, Gothic, comfortable, contemporary feel. That's who I am. And Libra has a very strong aesthetic of that. If it's a Libra that's very emo, they'll have lots of emo posters on their bedroom wall. Whatever it is that their Libra is feeling internally, Libra projects externally through being expressive, like decorating their home. They're very good like that. That's one thing that I would say about Libra. I hope that you're enjoying this video. But a light-sided Libra is spectacular. They really are able to understand very complicated things, and they have their own principles as well. And I really enjoy that. They are good teachers. A Libra is a teacher. That's one of the brilliant parts of their mind, is that they are able to really break down complicated things and dealings with people that others can understand. So, like a teacher that can, like a really hard equation, we just break it down into smaller components, and then we can understand it. That's how we deconstruct things or construct things. We have to, it's like the inch by inch is a cinch metaphor, I hope that made sense. So yes, back onto Libra. Now, a dark-sided Libra is always confused. A light-sided Libra knows what they want and they're going after it. So that's how, you've got a light-sided one. They don't, like I've dated a Libra before, and everything was like, but they were more dark-sided. So it was like simple things like, hey, I'm going down the street. Do you want to come? And they'd be like, I don't know. Do I get in the car? Do I stay home? Do I do it? And this is just wasting time. I can't be fucked with that. I'm like, jump in the car or stay home. I'm going in the car in 5 minutes. So stuff like that, little things like that. I'm attracted to powerful, intelligent people. So by default, I'm like a sift. I can sift through people very quickly, and I determine whether this person's, worthy of my time. This person is really, are they too childish? Are they mentally capable of understanding what I am? And if they can't, one thing that I've learned a lot in my life, being cusp Sag Scorpio, is that I often find myself trying to change people. And that is a really bad thing. Rather than try and change someone, which ultimately is what I need them to be, I've learned I need to let people be who they are, and just understand that incompatibility between us is an all too common reality, and letting them go. That's how you do it. And you don't need to be mean about it. You don't need to be nasty about it. Just realizing that this person isn't a vibrational match to me and my needs. So, we have to look for someone who is a potential match that could be. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's how you do it with friends. That's how you do it with dating. Also through life as well, the person that I was 10 years ago isn't going to have the same friends that I'm looking for now. So we are all changing and moving. Back yet again, I can't say it enough. It's that sea of change that has to occur between understanding that the choices that I made then will be different to what they will be later. Now, Libra in the light side is very much a giver. They are givers, and they are so much about giving themselves over than they are receiving. So I hope that I really want to put that out there a lot. They are very sexual. This is a sign that will date a lot and is a relationship hopper. A lot of them do that. That's just how they are. They are very concerned about how they appear to others. So this is that dark side of Libra, like the Kim Kardashian thing that I talked about, where if, say, for example, society really values women having really big asses, which they do at the moment, then Libra will go get butt injections. But back in the early 2000s, when it was, all about like girls being really thin and having no ass, then Libra would be stick thin. So, a dark-sided Libra will always modify themselves to match the fad or the in look. A light-sided Libra is not concerned so much with the aesthetic of themselves. But a lot of Libra women just look like blow-up dolls. Like they've got the big slug lips. They're all, breast augmentation. The leading vibe of a person, of a Libra, of a dark-sided Libra, would be completely how they are seen by other people. That's what dictates their whole life, which is absolutely criminal. It's absolutely sad. It's pathetic, but that's how they are. Now, Libra is one of the most popular signs of the zodiac. They really are. Everyone likes them. They are naturally very, very charismatic. This is a very charismatic sign, especially the women. And they do like flirting. They like that bubbly, flirty, feminine energy. A lot of Libra women would have lots of perfumes, lots of makeup, lots of fragrances. And their style, like I've said, is off the chart. So they're always going to be the best dressed. And they also take, with the Libra, with their partners, they like their partner to be well-dressed. They like their partner to, be like the salt to their pepper or be like, like there's a unison. So they will style their partner to, match what they're wearing if they show up. They show up on time, they're dressed well. They want peace. They are not interested in catty shit, like the light-sided Libra would not be interested so much in drama. Now, I found a lot of the light-sided Libras are naturally a little bit introverted as well. So a lot of them, depending on where their moon is in their chart, if it was a sun-sided Libra with a Leo moon, then you might have more of an extroverted sign, extroverted personality. But for the most part, Libras, they don't tend to be front and center. They tend to be slightly aloof, slightly to the side or back of house kind of thing at work or, things like that. But they will show up, they'll go to, work drinks or work functions and things like that. But yeah, they're very concerned about how they come across. And you guys are fine. You come across really well. You look great. And everything is looking good in that direction. I'd be more hard pressed and more interested to find Libras that are intellectual, that want to talk about heavy shit. And they do. Like, I have a really good time with them. I do enjoy. The best thing about a Libra, a light-sided Libra, is that they let you be who you are. They will hold space for you, even if they don't personally agree with you. They will listen to your point of view. They will, give you that time where you can speak your truth, and that they're very good at building relationships. Like the light side of Libra is very good with, connectivity, forging relationships, and they have a lot of acquaintances. They know a lot of people as well. Libras tend to not want to burn bridges with people either. They like to leave a workplace on good terms. They like to leave relationships on good terms. And, with some of the Libras I've noticed, they never really shut the door with exes. They'll kind of keep the ex in the background kind of thing and often reminisce of the time they were with the ex. Even if it didn't work out, they tend to still remain friends with their exes. I've noticed that a lot with Libra. And Libras are very quick to read people. They're very intuitive. A lot of them are quite psychic. They're able to really look at someone and just read their energy very quickly. Like, yep, no, not going to work. Speaking their truth, a lot of them, they do their homework. This is a sign that, will not they won't bring a knife into a gunfight. They will do the work. They'll research so that when they are talking and communicating at work, they know what they're talking about. They have done the research to understand, the nuances of what they are saying. So they've got that support. They can back themselves up. When they say something, they can back it up, which I really, really appreciate. The dark side of a Libra is that they are super manipulative and they'll make you think that the thing that they want is what you want. So they're very sneaky like that. with that charming energy that they've got. It just kind of, it's just in their DNA. I don't know. I don't know how they do it, but yes, they're very good at face reading as well. Libras always tend to have a very kind of peaceful baby face. A lot of Libras have like a baby face. I've noticed, like their face looks like a baby. I don't know. Yeah, it's something I've noticed actually. Very peaceful, very calm. That's how they are. I hope that you're liking this video. Anyway, I'm thinking about more things I could say about Libra. The light side, the communication is off the chart. These guys tend to aspire for a very beautiful house. The house has got to be organized and tidy and neat, and the floor has to be mopped. A messy Libra would be more of a chaotic, dark-sided Libra. A light-sided Libra really wants the best out of their body. They want the best out of life. They're looking for exercise. They want to eat right. It's all that moderation thing, like eating things. Like you can't have pizza every single night. They understand that. So they do the work. Although they are very aesthetic-based, a lot of them are really into books. A lot of light-sided Libras read a lot of books. They are into book clubs. They may have a YouTube channel. That's not uncommon with a Libra. This would be the sign most on YouTube that would be doing, hey guys, check out this video. I just did this book, and doing a review. They put a lot of thought and time and energy into their reviews as well. And they give it like a balanced, approach. So someone else in the book club might not agree with what they said about their book. Yet again, Libra is very good at that. They don't want to destroy their enemy through like going against them, like, you don't agree with me, you're wrong. No, Libra is able to understand that that's that person's point of view. And it was something I was thinking about the other day, is that this is interesting actually, and it made me think of Libra because I knew that I was going to do Libra as this video today. Was that perfect example I could give in this video? Let me think. Would be like, I could have, my mother could be, obviously is my mum. So her viewpoint and her way of raising me could be completely different to how I was raised, how I felt that I was raised. So how I saw how she raised me is my way of looking at it. It's, at times, I'm just giving you an analogy, but I'm saying that, you can have I can be in a relationship with a partner or a mother or a friend, and my truth and my experience in that relationship can be completely different to their experience, but both can be right at the same time. I hope that made sense. So it is meeting in the middle. Like that's where we need to meet the most to achieve equilibrium and harmony. One side, too much of one thing. If you just eat too much of the same thing, it'll kill you. So light-sided Libras don't really like conflict. They will go into conflict if they have to defend themselves. But this is a sign that would always not deflect, but disarm conflict at the slightest chance that it could arise. So they like to beat, what's the expression? Beat it, clip it in the bud, before it kind of happens. They don't like rude behavior. So, showing up on time, being well dressed, etiquette, hygiene. Hygiene is a very big thing with Libra. To tell a Libra that they smell would be just unbelievably critical damage to a Libra. They need to be received intellectually, and they need you to be at a certain level of standard that they expect. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. So yeah, that's what I would say. They put up a very good argument as well. So they are granted, being the scales, they are able to really, in a good-natured way, they do enjoy a good debate. A Libra will debate you if they need to. Some of them are quite restless. Now, a lot of Libra, I find a lot of similarities with Sagittarius and Libra, and I find a lot of similarities with Virgo and Libra. So it's said that in the zodiac, we learn from the sign that is before us or after us. And I think there's a teaspoon of truth in that. So Libra does learn from Virgo structure and dependability. And it also has the restless energy of the Sagittarian mind, which is that Libra needs constant stimuli. And a dark-sided Libra would not do well being left alone because they need that exchange of energy of people around them to constantly be in a state of distraction. So a dark-sided Libra, and I'll give you a quick analogy. The other day I met a girl that was all about, she's a party girl, and she was a Libra. A lot of Libras in their younger years are party girls. They're going out, or party boys. But we all love a party boy or a party girl, and I've dated or been attracted to that type. But there's nothing of structure to this person. There's nothing that would be relationship material, like long term, because the concept of a party person is always in a state of distraction. They're always in some kind of state of like, where's the next party? Where's the next drug hit? Where's the next dance club? Where's the next event? When am I going out next? It's all about the next thing, the next distraction. Don't look here, look over there. It's always keeping themselves, basically they're running from something. They're running from something that they're not really ready to deal with. So they're constantly looking for drama and looking for things that they like to create drama so that they can have something to focus on. And distraction. It's always distraction, distraction, distraction. I've noticed a lot of gay men are always in this perpetual state of what I call puppy brain. Also with that party girl mentality, that kind of Callie from the Valley kind of thing, is that they're always in a state of flux. They're never in a state of just sitting still, keeping their mouth shut and doing some deep thinking. They don't want to do critical thinking. They don't want to do deep thinking. It's all about partying and having a good time and being social. And this is not really something that is suitable for a really stable relationship because it's in a state of going out, meeting people. When you're in a dating situation and you're in a committed relationship or a partnership, then you are building something with someone else and you're not living in a lifestyle that is conducive to the opposite of stability. I hope that made sense. And I've seen that a lot with the Libra. So I was sitting with this girl and she was, I'll just give you the example. So she was just talking about how I'd met her for the first time and I knew straight away she was a Libra. Just fake, just so fake. But the way that she talked was really coming from a place of self-denial. And this is a dark-sided Libra. I know this is meant to be a light-sided video, but I'm just giving you this example. So she was like, I went out on the weekend and I'm like, how was your weekend? And she was like, I got smashed. I got so fucked up. And I went to my boyfriend's mum's and we got so drunk. I got blind drunk, knocked down drunk on the floor and we're all drinking casket wine. And, my partner doesn't like to hold my head over the toilet. He was holding my hair back over the toilet and I was just vomiting and I couldn't help it, but I was having so much fun and it was just so cool. And it was so good to, oh my God. And she's smiling and laughing and telling me her weekend story about how she got so smashed and so drunk and that she couldn't go to work the next day. She had to call in sick the next day. And, her boyfriend's mother was telling her how much we love you. And, then she went to brunch and then with her friends and then yet again, social, always out, always partying. And then she's drunk again with her friends at lunch. And it's like, I'm sitting here with her, listening to this and thinking to myself, this is appalling. You're actually struggling here. You actually need therapy. You are teetering on the edge of self-destruction and you need a therapist. You need someone that can create a safe place where you can recreate these scenarios with them and really unpack why you're behaving like this. But you see, what she was doing was, in the way that she was talking, the manipulative side of a Libra, is that she's trying to get me to nod my head. It's like the nodding of the head of it, which is what I say, is the nodding of the head of it is that I am being complicit and agreeing with her that this behavior is acceptable, that this behavior is fine, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that, that's cool, when it's clearly dysfunctional and it's so uncomfortable. And if you're listening to this video, I'm sure you would have seen this at school or with friends, probably more in your younger years, or going out clubbing in your early 20s and stuff, is that it's very uncomfortable to be around someone who is in such a state of dysfunction, and they are talking about their dysfunction and wearing it like it's a badge of honor. And then we have to validate it by agreeing with them so that we're not pulling them up on this dysfunction of their bad behavior. And that way they have a reason to continue to behave like that because we never said it wasn't okay. And so what tends to happen is that if your behavior is never really checked in with someone who's really authentic and able to tell the truth, or is willing to tell you the truth, then that shadow side of you isn't really it's not understood and it's not brought to your attention. And so what tends to happen is that party people hang out with party people. That saying, birds of a feather flock together, is that smart people get around smart people. Successful people are attracted to other successful people. High value males, high value females are not attracted to low hanging fruit. Just straight up. So having a dysfunction that is not checked and is dysfunctional to other people in its behavior is what we would call low-hanging fruit. It's something that we're not really, it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, get yourself together. It's not something that we're really interested in because it would bring us down. And so that's where it's at. So when we choose to vibrate, or when we choose to surround ourselves with people that are a very low vibration, then we are, and in turn are also taking on that vibration and committing to it because we're allowing it. We're a part of it. We're complicit to it. So this is that self-responsibility thing that I'm so big on and I'm so aggressively real with people in my life. And that's why I just said, I pulled out my wallet straight away and pulled out a card of a psychologist and gave it to her and said, you need help. And of course, she did not receive that well because I'm holding her accountable, but I'm also not giving her the validation of her dysfunction that she was looking for and wanted out of me. So I hope that made sense. And that's one thing I would say is that, if you're tired of having the same old damn conversations with someone, or, doing something with someone, change the dance. Say you're I'll give you a dance floor analogy. If you're dancing with someone and you're sick of dancing that way, dance differently. Because what's going to have to start happening is the other person's going to go, I don't like that. You need to dance the way that you were before. You need to behave the way that you were before because that's more what I want from you. Or they can start to dance in rhythm with your dance. Because you're not going to do like Celtic river dancing with someone who's doing break dancing. So what I'm saying, like that analogy, is that you've got to change the way that you're interacting with them to engage with their interaction with you. And what we're willing to put up with other people is how they're going to continue that behavior with us. So that was a dark-sided Libra example there. And at some point in her life, she will reach a point where this proceeding down this path is not constructive or conducive to living a life that is really based on integrity. And at some point, things begin to catch up with you. It all catches up with you. Trust me, I know. That was me in my early 20s, partying, drugs, fucking around. But I grew out of it because it wasn't sustainable and it wasn't really a lifestyle or a mindset that was conducive to me living my full potential, because it's in a state of kind of, self-abuse. Like putting drugs and alcohol in your body is poisonous. It's not a state, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I am going to be doing a new series that I'm thinking of starting. Let me know what you think. If you'd like, leave me like anything that you'd like me to unpack and give you my thoughts on. I think I'm going to do a video talking about shadow work and what shadow work is. I think I just kind of gave you a bit of an example there and a bit of a breadcrumb. And also I might do a video doing a book review that I've come across, and just doing a series of videos that are very real, very raw, and very truthful, so truthful that, you know, what it feels like to grow up in a family that doesn't understand you. Like, what do you do about that? So things like that. And yeah, but anyway, I hope that you've enjoyed this video. I have unpacked the light side of Libra. Oh my God, yeah, you guys are such goody two shoes. You really are. You're the light-sided Libra would be the kid at school that's like, Miss, I did all my homework last night. The A+ student, you know, that's the light-sided Libra. You know, they are very concerned with how they appear, very concerned with how they are seen. And that's a pride thing, and there's nothing wrong with that. It just can't be the leading force of wanting to be liked by everyone. You have to be prepared to not be liked by everyone. I'm prepared to not be liked by everyone, and I understand that I, in turn, don't like everyone else, yeah? That's life, yeah? Because if you're always adjusting yourself to be liked by everyone, then you're at the mercy of whoever walks through that door next, you know? So, yes, Libra, the beautiful marketplace, the scales, the balancer, you guys are wonderful, magical, and I really enjoy you. I really enjoy Libra. I do. It's like a gin and tonic. I like it. I do. But yes, this concludes the light-sided series of my channel here. Go check out the dark-sided series. Go check out some of my tarot explanation videos where I talk about the tarot cards and what they mean. Yes, I'm that sad person that does these videos. I'm just kidding. I do enjoy them. I wouldn't do it if I didn't enjoy it. But yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know. What did you think about this video with Libra? Did I get it right? Did I get it wrong? What do you think about them? Let me know. I'd love to know. I'm always hungry to hear feedback on, you know, anything that you want to talk about. There's no subject that is off the table for me. This is what I bring to the table in these videos. I'm very honest, and I just try to, you know, say it how I see it. So I will see you guys in the next video coming up soon. Let me know if you'd like me to unpack any particular topic, and just let me know. I would love to connect with you. Please give this video a like and share it with anyone that you think would enjoy it and that found it insightful. And I will see you around. Come and find me on Instagram. And peace, love, and blessings to you. Bye, bye, bye.